But first, the online world is in disarray today as Microsoft and its cybersecurity partner Crowdstrike were at the heart of a global IT disaster. The CEO of Crowdstrike joined the Today Show to share details on what caused the mass outage that impacted different industries just about everywhere.
The system was sent an update, and that update had a software bug in it and caused an issue with the Microsoft operating system. And we identified this very quickly and remediated the issue. And as systems come back online, as they're rebooted, they're coming up and they're working. And now we are working with each and every customer to make sure that we can bring them back online.
All right, so Jason Guidola is in studio. Jason, how has this disrupted everyday life around the world?
Well, Nicole, we're seeing the impact through grounded flights, bank and hospital systems going offline, and media outlets off air. And while both companies say the disruption wasn't a cyber attack, it will take some time before they see the extent of the damage.
I am so upset right now.
When I walked in, I got straight anxiety.
Absolutely nothing. There's not anybody even behind the counter.
Air travel was turned upside down across the world today due to a widespread outage with airline IT systems.
They have no information for us at this time as to whether we're going to get out today or tomorrow or at all.
A number of flights have been grounded and terminals are overcrowded. Other airports, travelers see these blue error messages on monitors. At the heart of the massive disruption is mega cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. The company says it is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts. Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. And the issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed.
I'm already hearing experts saying this is possibly the biggest IT outage in world history. And that's frankly easy to believe because we're talking about one that's involving a very, very widely used operating system, Windows 10, and a third-party software.
Microsoft says it's working with its cybersecurity provider to get systems back on.
As a one-time IT professional myself, I know that before you sign on the dotted line to allow something to go from test into production, you have to go through a number of different gates or checks or validations with a number of different specialists to make sure that it passes muster. And so obviously those gates, those validations, those verifications were not adequate.
Also feeling the pain are sectors like healthcare, which faces delays and possibly cancellations for critical care. And also banking services. The Canadian Bankers Association says institutions are reviewing the situation, and Canadians can be reassured that our country has a well-protected banking system. Any current impact on banking services would be temporary.
Problem is, and this is where it's going to affect different companies differently depending on how sophisticated they are, depending on how much of an IT army they have to address this. They're having to restart some of these endpoints manually. You think about how many laptops or computers a given company has and how many are potentially affected, hundreds, thousands, and on, right? So at this point, from this point forward, a lot of it's going to depend on how agile the end user is.
CrowdStrike is urging clients that the faulty software was not caused by a cyber attack. However, experts stress that disruptions highlight vulnerability of software dependence from few providers.
We certainly have to be on alert because even though this particular incident wasn't a cyber attack, it will influence those who conduct cyber attacks to increase the speed and sophistication of their activities. Expect more attacks to come.
And it's still unclear when most companies can begin to see IT systems be restored. CrowdStrike's CEO also says while the company works through it with its clients to be on the lookout for hackers and scammers during the ongoing technical support.